Hello everyone, my name is Power Monkey and I've decided to do something new. So recently I've been getting into comic books after being away for like about 2 decades and decided to pick up this book. Actually, I went to pick up first volume of Gwenpool, which is awesome. And as I was looking through the shelves, I saw Ash vs. Army of Darkness, the Zero, so the prologue basically. And as a huge fan of the Evil Dead series, I decided to pick it up. And plus, I mean, it's only 99 cents. Looks like the actual series is going to be $3.99, which, wow. last time I uh, last time I was into comic books, they were only like about $1. Basically, my mom would ask, like, hey, Pirate, do you want the new issue of Spider-Man, or do you want a Kit Kat bar? So it's kind of interesting now that they're so expensive. So I decided to kind of do maybe like a review or something, just something different. So I'm not constantly doing LPs. I kind of wanted to do more personal things. So I figured, since this book is brand new and it's pretty short, let's just jump right into it. So it starts off basically going over the summary of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. It all started with that damn book, Necronomicon, Bound in Human Flesh and Inked in Blood, blah blah blah. And then we have Ash arriving with his girlfriend Linda at the cabin. Shit goes down. Ash is forced to cut off his hand. He gets sent back into time. And then the next page we have the summary basically of Army of Darkness. He arrives. He becomes the chosen one. He sets out, meets his evil clone. And here's what I found kind of funny. So it seems like Ash is basically updating us, the readers, on his story, but actually he's telling the story to Ted Rainsford. Ted Rainsford, who is the human resources for S-Mart. And I thought this was kind of fun. He's like, "Did you say you cut off your own hand with the chainsaw?" And Ash's response is, "That's what you're concerned with? Most people stop me after Bound in Human Flesh." I thought that was kind of hilarious. Um, so then basically, Ted is talking. I just kind of, yeah, it's supposed to be Ted Raimi. Ted's telling Ash about how they have to fire him because of the fact that he killed a customer, even though she's a deadite, and all his coworkers, basically confirmed that the lady was evil. They still have to fire him just because it looks bad on S-Mart. So then Ash does the walk of shame, which I thought was kind of weird because if you look, all his coworkers are basically giving him like disgusted looks, almost like they can't wait for him to leave. But it's like he literally just saved their lives, and they all know. I mean, they all confirm his story, so they're not like thinking he's some kind of psycho with a gun who was just shooting up customers. Like they confirm that, yeah, this woman was evil, and Ash saved them. So I don't know why they're giving him disgusted looks, or why they basically trashed the shit out of his car and write assassin and pig and all that stuff. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. So then Ash goes home. By the way, I had to make a little cut there just because my phone only records about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, which is kind of weird. So yeah, Ash is back at home. His house is all trashed up, which, I don't know why his house would be trash when he still had a job and all that stuff. Because here's one thing that kind of bothers me. Well, I'll get to that a little bit later. So then Ash gets a visitor from a woman who wants to talk about the woman that he killed at the store. Ash brushes her off at first, but then she comes in and informs him that she's a vice principal at at the local high school, and the woman that Ash killed at the end of Army of Darkness was actually the librarian for the school, and how she started acting angry and snapping at people and the kids. And then it wasn't just her, but also some of the faculty members also started basically acting strange, as well as the students, specifically the football team. And basically asks, like, so you heard about some great hero who can stand against the forces of evil and decided to give me a call, huh? And then we see basically like a news report about how Ash is described by his fellow employees as a deeply unpleasant man who was nevertheless pretty okay with the gun. This part kind of bothers me that they consider him deeply unpleasant, just because people seem to get the impression that Ash was always this like arrogant, cynical, jerk off, when he actually isn't. In Evil Dead 1 and in like half of Evil Dead 2, Ash is actually pretty laid back. He's kind of like an everyman. He's friendly, even somewhat, cowardly. And it isn't until he basically snaps in like halfway through Evil Dead 2, the scene where all the appliances start mocking him, and it turns out it's just a hallucination. Like at that point, that's when he starts becoming a lot more arrogant and has more of like a bravado. And then it's not until Army of Darkness that Ash goes from arrogant to just like downright like cynical and sleazy and tossing one-liners. But before then, he wasn't like that. Like before he arrives at the cabin, Ash is a completely different person. And not only do the comics seem to forget about that, but so does the TV show. Like a lot of people seem to forget that Ash is supposed to be the like the friendly, everyday, normal, average Joe, and then the cabin is what fucks him up and basically screws him over and makes him the person that he is. So just to have like his employees describe him as deeply unpleasant, when he's hasn't even been back in his time for all that long, just seems kind of off, because Ash is supposed to actually be a pretty pleasant person. It wasn't until after he went to the cabin that he became the way that he is. So basically alright, gotta do another one. I gotta find a way to like just be able to record rather than having to do like 3-minute intervals and then just like chop them up together. So then basically she offers Ash a job. She wants him to go to the high school and take care of the deadites that are infecting her faculty members and her students. And then Ash turns her down at first. But then as soon as she says, I can pay you, he's like, all right. We'd have to bring you in as a substitute for the official records, but you can use that to investigate. So looks like Ash is basically going to become the new substitute teacher at the local high school. And then final page, he arrives at the school. So that was it. I mean, this is just, episode 0. This is issue 0, and it's a 99-cent issue, so it's not going to be too long. I thought it was a pretty decent setup for the series. It is kind of interesting, Ash is going to be a teacher. I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play out. I wonder if they're going to pull like a Dean Winchester in Supernatural. Or, like, is he actually going to try? Is he going to, So that's going to be kind of interesting dynamic. I'm pretty sure, basically, I'm going to take a guess and say that everyone's pretty much going to, like all the students are going to treat him like a loser. And no one's going to think he's Joe Cool, except for Ash. And then we have some cool artwork. I think it's pretty nice. And we have some basically some concept art of Ash, different expressions. That's pretty cool. And then Ted Raimi, basically the teacher, the vice principal that offered the job, the woman that he ends up shooting, some of the students. And then basically we get an ad for the upcoming issues. Here's what I found kind of interesting. So down here we have like the different variant covers for issue 1. You can see right here, issue 1. But if you go to the back, it shows the different variant covers for issue 0. This is the one that I have right here. But some of these actually match issue 1. So I'm just wondering, are they going to use the same covers for issue 1 that they use for issue 0? Is that something that they usually do? Like I said, I haven't been into comic books in a while. Like it's been literally about 2 decades. So I don't know. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. This cover right here looks pretty awesome. This one isn't too bad. This one seems kind of I don't know. It's just there's not much going on. This one's pretty interesting. I will say though that even though this one isn't the greatest, it's a lot better than a lot of the Marvel covers that I've been seeing lately. It seems like a lot of them are just basically selfies, especially the ones with the female superheroes. It's basically just a superhero standing in front of a crowd of fans as they take selfies. It's like Marvel can't come up with any good ideas. So yeah, here's the other Army of Darkness books that they've had previously. This one looks kind of interesting, Vampirella, an Army of Darkness. I knew that they had Evil Dead comics, but I didn't know that they were still ongoing or that they had new ones. Like I assumed that it kind of ran its course, but I'm kind of glad that they're gonna start a brand new series. I might pick this one up, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Like I said, the prologue was pretty good. Yeah, gotta make another cut right there. So then we got just advertisements for other stuff like Sheena, Grumpy Cat. I can't believe Grumpy Cat actually has his own freaking comic book. I don't know, I find this stupid meme like just really dumb. And they're just milking the hell out of it. Whoever the owner of the cat is, that was doing like an amazing job. They probably like made bank off of their cat. And then I thought this was kind of cool. We have Atari Classic Sword Quest. So they're actually going to bring the comic back, the classic Atari mini comics collected for the first time. That's awesome. So yeah, then we got Turok. I'm surprised Turok is so they're gonna have a new one. That's pretty cool. My only knowledge of Turok actually comes from the video games, the N64 games. But I was always a fan of the Turok games. So I might check out the comics at some point. Betty Page, I have no idea who that is. And then we have Chaos. I don't know, are any of these any good? I might check them out. The covers make some of them seem kind of interesting. And then, like I said, we have the variant covers for this issue. I think this one right here is my favorite. I don't know. This is pretty cool. The chainsaw buried into the ground with the Deadites. Well, not the Deadites, the Army of Darkness in the background, and then the Smart. And then we got the Shadow. We got an advertisement for the new Shadow that's going to be coming out in August. I'm a huge fan of the Shadow. That cover right there is really awesome. Let's see if I can zoom in on that one. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of the Shadow. I have all the radio drama shows on my I have all the radio serials on my my iPod. I listen to it constantly. I read some of the comics. I have some of the books. I should probably read some of them sometime again. But the Shadow is really awesome. What evil lurks in the hearts of man? The Shadow knows. I'm not even going to attempt to do his laugh because I'll just butcher it terribly. So yeah, that's Ash vs. Army of Darkness 0 issue, the prologue. Very short. Does a pretty good job of setting up the series. I'm interested to see how Ash does now that he's going to be a teacher at a high school. Not something I've ever pictured Ash doing, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how that turns out. Don't really have any complaints. The illustrating is not too bad. Writing is pretty good. Mostly that's what I'm going to be like. If I decide to continue doing videos like this, I'll mostly be focusing on the writing since that's what my background is. For those who don't know, I have a bachelor's in screenwriting. Currently, I'm doing freelance writing for movie studios. I would like one of these days to do like a comic book. That would be pretty awesome. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep doing stuff like this? I was thinking of basically doing a series. Instead of Let's Plays, it'll be like Let's Chats or Let's Talk. And I'll talk about different things. Comic books, since I'm starting to get into them. Mangas. I've been thinking about doing a lot of stuff like those. Either like reviews for popular issues or maybe talk about like series that are kind of obscure and I've never like made it over to the West. Where you can like read them is through scanlations. So I thought about doing that. I've also thought about doing like maybe anime stuff, like anime news, anime reviews, because I watch a lot of anime as well. Maybe just like video game stuff. Like one thing I've been thinking about doing is doing like my top 10 games from E3 and just doing like a compilation of those. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Basically, I've been thinking about just having my channel be doing a little bit more like personal videos. So it's not just my channel is not just me doing Let's Plays, but also like, you know, like comic book reviews, manga reviews, anime, video games. Um, Maybe I'll do something on Gwenpool next. I've also been currently reading Wildstorm, which is really fucking good so far. That's only 5 issues in. I'm all caught up on that. That one's really good. So yeah, what do you think? Just so like you guys know, like I've mentioned before, this is my first time coming. I'm coming back into comic books after being away for like 2 decades. So I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to them, but maybe that would be like an interesting take on the videos. Like that can be my thing, is that I'm coming in with like a completely fresh, no bias point of view. Like I'm not comparing, you know, modern comics to past comics or anything like that. So I don't know, maybe like would that be something you guys would want to see or hear? I haven't really been doing too much Marvel stuff. I mean, other than Gwenpool and a couple of other stuff. Like I'm gonna try to read Punisher. I heard Venom is really good. Same thing with Thanos. I heard good things from those, so I might check those out. But I've been kind of put off by Marvel just because Marvel's been going way too SJW, politic heavy, but not even like. I don't mind if there's politics in a comic book, whether it's politics that I agree with or disagree with. It has no, you know, I don't care about that, as long as if it's written well. Like if it's done really, if it's like done really well, then it's fine. But a lot of these new characters seem to just be like diversity for diversity's sake, and the authors have no idea like how to write these characters. Like well, I'm not going to mention any of them, but let's just say that like a lot of them just seem to be like really poorly done. So I've been kind of put off of Marvel. I have been doing a lot of DC stuff, especially with the Rebirth. That's like the perfect time for me to like catch up and not be completely lost with things. I'm all caught up on Deathstroke, which is really fucking good, especially the last issue where he, spoilers, he builds his new Dark Titans, which I'm very excited to see how that goes. I'm all caught up with The Flash. I've seen a couple of issues here and there of Batman and Teen Titans, and yeah, I'm thinking maybe doing Aquaman next, either Aquaman or the Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns. I do want to also get into Red Hood. Red Hood's one of my favorites. So yeah, lately I've been just reading a lot of DC. I don't know. Are there any other good Marvels that you guys recommend? Because I'm willing to give Marvel a chance. It's just a lot of the stuff that I've seen and heard is just really garbage and just a waste of time. So I'm kind of like I guess I'm really put off on Marvel. So yeah, I mean, like, would you guys like be interested in seeing more stuff like this? Like I said, it doesn't have to just be comic books. It can be manga. It can be anime, video games. Just something different, something so it's not just me recording footage of me playing video games and then doing commentary over it, you know. Not that I have anything against Let's Plays. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I'm not going to stop doing that. Just so like anyone who actually likes my Let's Plays, I'm not going to give up doing Let's Plays. Let's Plays are going to keep on going. But I kind of wanted to do something just a little bit more personal, a little bit more unique to my channel. So, you know, I don't want to just be just another, you know, Let's Play channel, but I want to kind of have my own flavor and my own like identity. So I've been thinking about doing more stuff like this. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should I do that? Is there anything you guys would like to see next? Is there anything specifically, either comics or manga, that you guys would like to hear me discuss? Leave anything below in the comments. I would really like to hear you guys' feedback on this video, just because it's something new. Hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you guys would like to see more of this stuff. And yeah, yeah, till I see you guys next time. Later.